Lake Dora is the setting and we're cleared for takeoff on the final weekend of the season. This is P1 SuperStock. Welcome to the seaplane city of Tavares, Florida for the season finale of the P1 SuperStock Championship. After undergoing a redevelopment downtown and establishing an entertainment district, Lake Dora and its surrounding area is the perfect setting for what promises to be an awesome weekend's racing. So that's the backdrop to the weekend's racing, but what about the championship table and the all-important point standings? So once again, on the final weekend of the season, it's James and Charlie in GD Environmental battling out at the top with Lee and Sandy, this year racing for Leica Mobile. 28 points split the two teams, but with 100 points on offer from 5 races this weekend, any one of the top 6 could mathematically lift the trophy. You can expect to see strong charges and tight racing lines from HalloweenMegastore.com, Southeastern Lighting and Allison Oil. So James, Charlie, good to see you this weekend. Here we are, final weekend of the season. Once again, it's between you guys and Lee and Sandy. How do you see this one playing out?
Hopefully it'll just be a rerun of last year and we'll take the championship. It was a lot closer last year in the final. We've got a bit of space between us this year, so we're not going to set any records. We're out there to stay safe, get the points, come home and win the championship.
You obviously didn't have the best season in the UK, it's fair to say, this year, but presumably you're looking to go out on a high out here in the US.
Yeah, the UK season was a bit of a nightmare due to breakdowns, a number of different things, different races. We were testing constantly and everything was perfect. We get to the race site and the boat was falling apart. Very disappointing. Very different here. We carry out the same maintenance here as we do in the UK, just the weather and the conditions in the UK are a lot tougher on the boat and the metals than they are here.
And Charlie, good to see John and Daisy racing out here this weekend as well. You know what they're like from a racing point of view, and they've stepped up, so that should be quite interesting.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to have them alongside us. Obviously, they got a good boat, so they've got a good chance of us coming up top somewhere. Be nice to have them with us.
So Lee, Sandy, great to see you here this weekend. Final weekend of the season, and it's like a mirror image of last year because it's you guys going deck to deck with GD Environmental. But this year, of course, you're in Leica Mobile.
Yes, sir. They've been a thorn in our side all year, just to tell you the truth. But I think we have a better shot at them this race. It's getting a little rougher than St. Cloud was. We always pass them in the rough water. We're a little better, stupider driver, and I'll go through the rough water.
It certainly made for some exciting racing last year, Sandy. Are you psyched for this weekend?
Oh, absolutely. You know, a different venue than last year's final championship, but hey, we're going up against these guys again, and this is what we want to do. Right now, we want to come in, we want to take this and just settle this out for the weekend and take the championship.
One other boat to keep your eyes on this weekend is this one, number 33, Crime Line, because it's being driven and co-driven by former UK champion John Wilson and his co-driver Daisy Coleman. So John, Daisy, it's great to see you out here. Tell us how this came about. What's going on?
Well, Daisy called me, said, John, we need to go racing in America. I said, really? She said, yes. I said, okay then.
And John, you've won the UK Championship before. Is this your first taste of racing in the US?
Yeah, absolutely. And so far, so good. It's been a great experience.
Have you come here for fun or have you come here to win?
Kevin, do you really need to ask that question? We're here to win.
So here we are then, ahead of the first one of the weekend. And joining me now is our very own commentator, Martin Sanborn. Martin, good to see you this weekend.
Good to see you, Kev.
And we're here once again, season finale, and it's tight at the top.
You know, there's nothing better than coming into the last race of the year and not knowing who's going to win. It's so bad coming in when it's already decided and everybody's just out running and are fighting for second place. Here we still have a genuine battle for first place. The guys at GD Environmental have a lead, but it's not locked up yet.
No, it's only 28 points between those guys and the second place team, which this year, once again, is Lee Baker and Sandy Kenningsman, although they're running under the Leica Mobile banner this year.
You know, those guys are strong no matter what boat they're in. Lee Baker, a strong competitor. He's got a lot of experience. You know he's going to be just absolutely out to get the guys at GD Environmental Services. But we've got a couple other teams in the hunt. We've got another team running over here from the UK as well.
Of course, let's not forget, of course, John Wilson, Daisy Coleman. They're in the Crime Line boat. I mean, John Wilson's a former UK champion. He he's a canny racer, you know.
He is, and this is his first time racing over in the States. There's a little bit different procedures, but it's the exact same boats, and he's aggressive. So the real question is going to be, is he going to help or is he going to hurt the situation as another racer? He's not in the points hunt, but he's definitely out on the water.
And the great thing is this weekend we've got 5 races, so that's 100 points on offer. So there's a lot of other sort of goings on that are going to happen, perhaps lower down the order in the middle of the pack.
I think the battle for the podium is completely wide open. The spread is so narrow. But within a couple of races, if GD has a great race, it could be decided within a couple of races, a couple of heats. But the podium is still wide open.
Well, Martin, thanks ever so much. You're about to go and get set for commentary.
Absolutely.
And the guys are setting the course out there on the lake, and all the teams, well, they're getting prepped to go racing.
Let's take a look at the race course here in Tavares. 1.98 miles is the lap distance, 7 turns in total, with 1 right-hander and a long run up towards the first turn.
So that's all the prep done, and it's now time to head out to the start line. And don't forget, the first 2 this weekend are back-to-back. So let's go join your race commentator, Ryan Sanborn.
Thanks, Kevin. We are on board Southeastern Lighting Solutions as the boats are lining up for the start of heat number 1 here in Tavares, Florida. This is the final round of the season for the 2015 SuperStock Championship. And the boats are on plane, waiting for the green flag. And we have a green flag. We are on the way here in heat number 1, the final race of the championship series in 2015. As they head towards turn 1, Leica Mobile has a good jump. They're coming up through the middle, but coming from the outside is Allison Oil. They are now side by side with Leica Mobile on the outside, crossing the start-finish line as this first heat gets underway. On board with Lee Baker and Sandy Kinningsman in Leica Mobile. They got through turns 1, 2, and 3 cleanly and are now out front. Allison Oil got stuck around some traffic and has dropped back. So now we have Southeastern Lighting in second place and Boat Wrench in third. And heat number 1 is winding to a close as Leica Mobile heads towards turn 1. They are out front. Southeastern Lighting in second place. You see them diving to the inside, trying to make up some ground, but Leica Mobile way up front. They take the checkered flag in heat number 1. Let's take a look at our race results for heat number 1. The win goes to Leica Mobile. Second place goes to Southeastern Lighting Solutions. Third place goes to Boat Wrench. All right, let's head out to the course for heat number 2. We invert the start, so the boat that won the last heat now goes to the outside as they head towards turn 1. We have a green flag. They are underway, heading towards turn 1. Leica Mobile on the extreme outside. As the boats make their way towards turn 1, that is Boat Wrench getting tired of getting hosed down by Southeastern Lighting Solutions. They go to the outside, and we go on board with John Wilson and Daisy Coleman. This is our team visiting here from the UK, but the heat would ultimately go to the father and son team from Columbus, Ohio, Allison Oil, making up for the last heat with a dominant win here in heat number 2. They get the checkered flag and take the win. Let's take a look at the results for heat number 2 here in Tavares. Allison Oil takes the win, followed by GD Environmental Services, and our visiting team from the UK, Crime Line, comes in third.
So that's it from day 1 here in Tavares. Join us after the break when we'll be lifting off with day 2. Welcome back to day 2 here in Tavares, where it's the final driver's briefing of the season for the P1 SuperStock guys. There were 2 races done yesterday, lots of action, lots of excitement, but once again on the final day of the season, the championship is still wide open. 2 back-to-back races on Lake Dora yesterday saw close, tight racing throughout the field. Allison Oil found some speed that allowed them to challenge at the front, and they managed to bag 30 points. John Wilson and Daisy Coleman in the Crime Line boat demonstrated the kind of form that you would expect from a former national champion and showed that they're clearly not here this weekend to just make up the numbers. Strong performances from HalloweenMegastore.com and Southeastern Lighting ensured they were on the pace and in the mix from the off. And at the top of the championship, the battle between GD Environmental and Leica Mobile has intensified, as after both races, the points gap has now dropped to just 23 points. So morning guys, here we are at the end of the season once again, and it's the usual suspects battling out. James, what have you got to do to beat these guys?
Yeah, we got a better margin than we had this time last year, so we're fairly comfortable, but we're out there to race, we're out there to win.
And Lee, obviously you're going to do everything you can to beat these guys, and there was some close battles and close racing going on yesterday.
Yeah, it was some stuff that happened yesterday that nobody would have ever expected, but I'm just amazed that we gained points on them, which I didn't think we were going to. It's our mission to gain points on them, and it worked so far, so we're going to stick to the same game plan.
Great thing is, though, with P1 SuperStock, obviously when you're on the water, you're going, you know, shoulder to shoulder, boat to boat, all out to win. When you stood here on the shoreline, it's pretty good camaraderie.
Oh yeah, this is the team we get along with the best. I mean, maybe because we live the furthest apart, so we don't see each other that much, so we like each other more. But this is the team that I have more respect for than any of them.
And Charlie, Sandy, navigator's job this weekend, it's not really to navigate the course, it's just simply to tell these other guys exactly what's going on with the other boats.
Absolutely, and always make sure, you know, regardless what's out there, you always got to keep an eye and, you know, just keep the driver in check and, you know, let them know what's going on. And
safe racing.
Thanks
very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
good luck, guys.
So a great show of mutual respect there from the two teams that are going to be battling it out for the championship. Two races back-to-back that could decide it. Let's head on out to the start with Martin Sanborn.
So it all comes down to this, the final day of racing in the 2015 season. And it's right down to the wire for James Norville and Charlie Young and Lee Baker and Sandy Kiningsman as the boats line up to start heat number 3 here in Tavares. Dead calm water here in Tavares for the first heat as we look on board Boat Wrench. You can see just how calm it is. They could be pulling a water skier, it's so calm. And we have a green flag. The boats are on their way here in heat number 3. A tight pack by the inside 5 boats. On the extreme inside, that's Visit Jacksonville, our rookie team this year. Leica Mobile has a good jump. Allison Oil running in second place. Coming up in third behind them is Crime Line. Then Halloween Megastore and Boat Wrench as they all make their way towards turn 1. Leica Mobile looks like they're going to come across the fleet a little bit. They've got their clearance. They leave a lane. Leica Mobile has the lead. Second place is Halloween Megastore. Third place is Team Boat Wrench. As we go on board Crime Line. Crime Line's on the outside. They've now moved side by side with Boat Wrench. They are currently in a tie for third place. Second place is Halloween Megastore behind Leica Mobile. Halloween Megastore currently running in second place. That is Walt Cox and Jamie Cantor. They are coming up to the one right-hand turn on the race course. Running in third place, Team Boat Wrench. Rob Gina and Gary Harris from Boat Wrench, they are the ones that keep all of these Evinrude E-Tech engines running evenly for the series as we look at Leica Mobile out front and go on board with Jason Morton and Trey Johnson in Southeastern Lighting Solutions. They had a tough start this heat. They're currently running in 7th position, and the boat immediately behind them, that is our Visit Jacksonville boat as they just nearly touch a buoy going by. But out front is Team Leica Mobile. Lee Baker and Sandy Kiningsman, they have got to make up some points, and they've got to get boats between them and GD Environmental Services if they want to have a shot at getting to that top position on the podium. Second place is Halloween Megastore. They are on the inside, but coming up hard on the outside is the number 33 of Crime Line. Sandy Kiningsman looking behind to see where the competition is, but Leica Mobile way out front right now. They've got a good, solid lead. But the side-by-side battle right now between Halloween Megastore and Crime Line coming up on the outside of them as they make their way towards turn number 1. And there you see the spread between second and third. Halloween Megastore out front of Team Crime Line, our team here from the UK. John Wilson and Daisy Coleman as we go on board the father and son team from Columbus, Ohio, Bill and Elijah Kingery. Team Crime Line is trying to make a move out at turn number 5. They are on the inside of Halloween Megastore. Good line by John Wilson. They are now approaching side by side. Halloween Megastore on the outside and Crime Line drives by on the inside. John Wilson and Daisy Coleman now move into second place, getting by the Halloween Megastore. And as it sits right now, Leica Mobile out front, Crime Line in second, Halloween Megastore in third as we just saw the Leica Mobile boat go past our vantage point, crossing turn number 1, heading towards the start-finish line. But coming in second right now is Crime Line, trying to run down Leica Mobile. As Leica Mobile makes their way around on the final lap, the checkered flag is out, and Leica Mobile takes their second win of the weekend here in Tavares. Let's take a look at our race results for heat number 3. Leica Mobile takes the win, followed by Crime Line and then Halloween Megastore in third. And we immediately go back to the course for heat number 4, back-to-back heats. And we have a green flag. Off to an early jump is Team Allison Oil. Second place is Team Southeastern Lighting Solutions. Leica Mobile coming up hard on the outside, but GD Environmental Services is holding on to that third place position. Leica Mobile is side by side with Crime Line as they make their way towards turn 1. Bill and Elijah Kingery and Team Allison Oil, they are out front as they look over their shoulder. Elijah Kingery on the wheel, his father Bill on the throttles. You see that seat moving. Their seats are on suspension to give them a little bit of a break as we go on board with John Wilson and Daisy Coleman as they are side by side with GD Environmental Services, but out front is Allison Oil. Bill and Elijah Kingery. Crime Line running side by side with GD Environmental Services. GD Environmental Services has them by a nose as they come by the start-finish line, but Crime Line is right off their hip. Our two boats here from the United Kingdom, GD Environmental Services from Wales and John Wilson from North Warwickshire. Crime Line has them by a nose, but GD Environmental Services is side by side. You couldn't even put a boat between them. They're so close. GD Environmental Services and Crime Line are side by side. A familiar occurrence for these two teams as they both also race in the UK Series. You see just how close together they are. As we're on board with number 33 Crime Line. GD Environmental Services has the inside lane. Crime Line is running just on the outside of the wake. They got a little bit of a bump. That is the bump created by Team Allison Oil out front as we go on board Southeastern Lighting Solutions.
As far as the overall points go.
Team Allison Oil out front. There's our battle back for 4th, 5th, and 6th position. As Elijah Kingery looks behind him to see what kind of a margin he has right now. Out front, Allison Oil, the father and son team from Columbus, Ohio, with Southeastern Lighting Solutions, makes their way around the turn, and Boat Wrench is side by side with Leica Mobile. Leica Mobile getting hosed down from the boat ahead of them, which is Southeastern Lighting Solutions. Leica Mobile on the inside. But as the checkered flag is out, Allison Oil takes the win in heat number 4. Let's take a look at our race results. Team Allison Oil takes the win, followed by GD Environmental Services, and again, Crime Line running in 3rd place.
So after those two back-to-back races, the sun has come out to shine on our new champions, GD Environmental. But with one race still to go, the weekend win and the weekend podium, well, it's still very much up for grabs. So let's see what happens as we head out to the start line with Martin Sanborn.
Thank you, Kevin. Here we are, the final race of the 2015 series here in Tavares. And we wait for the green flag, and we are underway. Allison Oil from the outside, since they won the last heat, they get a good jump at the start. On board with Halloween Megastore, Walt Cox and Jamie Cantor. But Crime Line is the boat that comes out ahead and holds off Allison Oil, and they move out to the lead. Walt Cox and Halloween Megastore looking over his shoulder as we go on board with Boat Wrench. But from the start, Crime Line is the boat out front, and they ultimately take the win here in Tavares, the final race of the season for the 2015 SuperStock Championship. Let's take a look at our race results for the final heat here in Tavares. Crime Line takes the win, followed by Allison Oil, Halloween Megastore, GD Environmental Services, and Southeastern Lighting Solutions. But like John Wilson said at the beginning, he was here to win, and the overall weekend goes to Team Crime Line. Team Allison Oil comes in 2nd place. Leica Mobile comes in 3rd, followed by GD Environmental Services and Halloween Megastore. As John and Daisy celebrate their win here in Tavares, the championship goes to GD Environmental Services for back-to-back championships, followed by Leica Mobile and Team Allison Oil.
So John, Daisy, huge congratulations. You've just learned that you've won the weekend overall.
Yeah, a bit of a result really. A bit unexpected, but nevertheless, so we came here to try and do it, and it looks like we might have made that top step.
Oh, it's been fantastic. The people at Tavares have been fantastic. They're really good, really welcoming. The venue here is fantastic. Great viewing platform for spectators. Racing's a little bit different. We had some different challenges, some really competitive races over here. Races slightly different styles. So yesterday we were kind of trying to scope everybody out, work out what sort of lines they were on, and then today we just brought it to them.
So James, Charlie, here we are. Congratulations, 2015 US champions.
Thank you, Kev.
Thank you very much.
A great weekend's racing. You didn't have it all your own way. There was still a lot to do coming into this weekend.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy weekend at all. We knew what we had to do, and we maintained the points and stayed there.
And a word though for Lee and Sandy and Leica Mobile, just missing out there. It was the same story as last year in actual fact, but I mean, those guys have been going side by side with you all season.
Yeah, a couple of years now we've raced side by side with them, taken in turns who's in front, and we've just put them on points, which is great for us and not so good for them, unfortunately.
So there we go, the sun is setting on another P1 SuperStock season, and Martin, we went out on a high, didn't we?
We sure did. I mean, it came down to the last race again. We got out there and, you know, it was a great weekend overall for the series, as well as our team that comes over from London. John Wilson actually running so well in London and coming over here and winning, putting on the top of the podium at his final event. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he stepped up in that crime line boat this weekend. Is you know, kind of experience in the boat, the hours he's put in, it showed this weekend.
It really did. And talking to some of the other racers, they were commenting on what great lines he picks.
Yeah.
That, you know, they really felt like he was giving them a little bit of a lesson out there. And him running side by side with GD, it was great. All the folks in the UK have got to be thumbs up in this whole thing.
Commiserations though to Lee and Sandy once again. You couldn't finish the series without mentioning those guys. They're great racers and they've had great camaraderie with James and Charlie and GD, but just missed out again.
So close yet so far. You know, they won really good heat this round,
yeah.
And ultimately didn't finish well the rest of the weekend, and that cost them.
But James and Charlie and GD Environmental, they've done it again, back-to-back US champions.
That's amazing, you know, and of course they run the same way in the UK.
Well, it certainly sets things up really well for 2016. I'd love to be here. Mark, are you going to be here?
I'm planning to. We'll both plan on it.
We'll both plan on it, and we hope that you plan on it too. But for now, from all of us here in Tavares, see ya.
Team GD Environmental, 2015 US champions.
That's us.
Yeah, over and out.